I believe that if the woman you are marrying is one of a kind, her ring should be as well. Custom design rings are so different from mass-produced pieces. They're so different. When you look at them side by side, you can absolutely tell that the custom design piece is kicked up a notch. What makes a custom designed engagement ring unique compared to mass manufactured designs are an emphasis on the intricate details, exquisite craftsmanship, and the overall aesthetic beauty of the piece. And beyond that, there are opportunities for personalization and deeper levels of emotional value for both the person giving the ring and the one receiving it. So let's dive deep into each of these categories with specific visuals so you have a really clear understanding of each one. So what do I mean by details? Here are a few examples of how the details made all the difference to the final look of the entire design. Even on a seemingly simple ring, such as a solitaire or a 3-stone ring, the details really make a difference when it comes to elevating the overall appearance of the quality. And then beyond the detail work, the fine craftsmanship takes it to the next level. And you might be wondering, what exactly does craftsmanship mean when it comes to a ring? Well, there are all sorts of technical details behind the scenes that I take into consideration that my clients might not even notice, such as metal porosity or hitting specific thickness requirements for durability or making sure the prongs cover the diamond well enough. Because those things are only going to be noticed long term if something happens to the ring. So by keeping that in mind on my end, on your behalf, this minimizes issues that could become apparent later once the excitement of getting a new ring wears off. As she's wearing it, if there's not enough prong coverage, the diamond could fall out. Or if it's too thin in one spot, it could crack or bend easily. But most people don't think about those features. They're mostly looking at the overall sparkle of the ring. So having someone be mindful on your behalf is really important rather than solely focusing on the cosmetic aspects of the ring. But yes, sparkle is very important. So let's talk about how a custom ring can be created to enhance that feature. I love setting diamonds incredibly close together to maximize brilliance. This is not something that's immediately apparent to people, but my clients often say that their ring sparkles more than their friends' rings, and that is one of the reasons. I also color match the diamonds on the setting to the center stone as close as possible for seamless sparkle, especially on a halo ring, because you'll really notice a color mismatch if they're not even. But actually also on a pave solitaire as well. These are all things I keep in mind because you want to make sure they're even. And a 3-stone ring needs to have matched side stones because it's such a simple design, it's very important. So this is why it's imperative to not select a diamond separately and then set it into a pre-made ring. Oh, and the size of the prongs. Oh, I will often see on other rings when a prong is sitting taller than the others or one is wider, those things just jump right out. So exceptional craftsmanship would ensure that they are as close as possible to being even. The prongs are all shaped by hand, and with a custom ring, there's usually more time spent on it since you're not dealing with rushed assembly lines. So if I'm looking at a ring and there is one uneven prong standing out, then I have the ability to refine it to match the others. And look, we're all human, so it's easy to make a mistake one day, but I like to take a couple days after working on every ring, and then I revisit it with fresh eyes, look at it again, and then make further refinements. That being said, there could be a specific design feature that you want to stand out, in which case it would be necessary to emphasize it. And this is where a designer who understands harmonious placement can really benefit a design. Now, some people will debate that something such as uneven prongs is what adds a human element to it. And they're not wrong, because if it's being made by human hands, there can be something beautiful about imperfections. My personal design philosophy is to make the ring overall as symmetrical as possible. Having clean, uniform lines crafted with precision, it can still be combined with feminine and even organic designs. I will often hear from clients that certain designs they see elsewhere look clunky or bulky, and I really do think that comes down to the designer as well as having a feminine touch. So this is one of the reasons why even a simple solitaire can look very different from one jeweler to the next. Or if you're explaining what you would like to a salesperson who then translates it to the jeweler who will be setting your diamond into a pre-made setting, who's then going to polish it, there might be something lost in translation. But when you work closely with the team who's going to be making your ring, that is likely that your ring will turn out exactly how you want it to. When it comes to craftsmanship, it's also really important that the jeweler focuses on creating a high quality piece that will last for generations and become an heirloom piece. For example, I remember early in my career being appalled when a jeweler told me that the ring they were making only needed to last about 5 years because they thought the marriage would end. And I thought that is the absolute worst frame of mind to create an engagement ring from. As someone who has been with my teenage love for over 20 years, when I'm making a ring, I think about what this ring represents. You know, my daughter, she rotates my ring on my finger and admires it. And when my sons were little, they would pretend to propose to me. And one day, this ring will be passed down to them, and they'll be seeing me wear it as they grow up, and it's just gonna hold a lot of significance to them, and your ring will as well. And it's important that it have meaning and thought and just be made incredibly well. With mass manufactured designs, it's not always practical to incorporate the technical aspects that are required in order to reflect this philosophy. For example, cost cutting often comes into play to remain competitive with other mass retailers, such as thinning out a ring for less metal weight, or spacing diamonds apart just enough to remove one diamond from each side. Multiplied by thousands, this can really add up for manufacturers. And those rings are often made quickly and in mass quantities. So not only is it going to be made without the person who will be wearing it in mind when they're making it, but it's actually going to be duplicated thousands of times. So it's not exactly unique. I believe that if the woman you are marrying is one of a kind, her ring should be as well. The overall aesthetic beauty of the entire piece means you're designing the ring as a whole, not just selecting a diamond separately and then placing it into a pre-made setting. With my custom designs, there is a heavy emphasis on proportions because you don't want a design to overpower the main diamond, because that will actually make it appear smaller. It's kind of a visual trick. It's simply meant to enhance it. Take a simple solitaire setting, for example. Even though some rings are seemingly simple, there are clunky and bulky ones or elegant and sleek versions. The reason square edge shanks are more common with mass manufactured designs is that they're faster to polish. A rounded comfort fit band inside takes longer to refine, but it's one of the things that takes the ring from, that's nice, to, now that is what I'm talking about. Now, keep in mind, some people actually want a wider band, and that's absolutely okay, but it needs to make sense for the piece. It's kind of like when you walk into a room and something just doesn't feel right about how it's architecturally laid out. There are a lot of room designs out there, but some just feel right and others feel off. What would make our solitaire unique from typical mass manufactured solitaires are the graceful streamlined curves of the shank, the carefully shaped claw prongs, the proportions, just the opportunity for personalization, and the low to finger height for practical everyday wear. Part of what I consider to be included in the overall aesthetic beauty of the piece is using higher quality materials. Custom rings allow clients to choose from a wide variety of diamonds and gemstones, and a custom jeweler can help educate you about the characteristics and factors of each option, enabling you to select the perfect center stone for your design. Here's some insight into the way we source diamonds for clients. Vanessa Nicole Jewels doesn't keep an inventory of diamonds because this allows us to seek out the best possible diamonds based on your desires rather than be forced to just sell what we own like traditional jewelry stores. We first look through a large database not available to the public in order to cull it down to our favorite 12 or so, and then I talk to each diamond dealer about the unique qualities of the diamonds in order to determine which ones to ship in or source locally. Then I personally curate the ones for you to make your selection from, and this service is complimentary for my clients, so it's a huge bonus to working with a custom jeweler who has a similar practice. Knowing your desired ideal budget for the ring, we'll show you several diamonds in a range below and up to this number, so that way you can decide if you want to splurge. Essentially, we do all the work up front on your behalf, and then you simply get to choose from 2 to 3 great options. The best news for you is that we've never had a client dissatisfied with their diamond choice once they actually see their final ring in person. So you can't go wrong with any of the options that I select for you to choose from. And I'm very picky, so you're in good hands. The diamond dealers affectionately call me Eagle Eye, because if we only focus on what you can measure on the grade report, well, then you're gonna be missing certain characteristics of beauty that cannot be quantifiable in numbers and grades. Therefore, I will personally sort through dozens of diamonds to seek out an elite selection that will be gorgeous options for you to choose from. Personalization. When designing a custom diamond ring, I work closely with you to understand her design taste and lifestyle to ensure that the ring is practical so that it can be worn comfortably every day. This collaborative process also allows for incorporating unique elements and design details that hold personal significance to you as a couple. Storytelling. Custom rings often incorporate symbolic elements or hidden messages that represent something on your couple's journey, such as an engraving or a birthstone or a motif inspired by a shared experience. So this personal touch is going to add depth and sentimental value to the ring that she's just going to love. For example, the number of stones. For a 10-year anniversary upgrade, there could be 10 stones down each side. Or if a couple has been together for, say, 24 months, 2 years, we could have 12 diamonds down one side and 12 diamonds down another side to represent the number of months before you became engaged, which highlights the foundation of your relationship and what your marriage is going to be built upon. So we don't actually have to use numbers specifically, but we can incorporate any sort of meaningful design elements, even from places you've been on vacation together. For example, the Eiffel Tower. I had a client who was actually planning to propose at the Eiffel Tower. And so for the engagement ring, underneath we created this scaffolding-like effect. And it's not something that is going to modify the entire design that he knew she really wanted, but underneath it was this beautiful design element that will hold incredible significance for this ring, which symbolizes their future together. A custom design engagement ring is created from scratch, exclusively for her, which results in a design that is unique to you as a couple. That's why this unique factor is so important in a custom ring. It's not limited by pre-existing molds or templates used in mass manufacturing, which often produce similar looking rings that thousands of other women are already wearing. And this isn't even touching on the one-on-one experience that comes with creating a custom ring. When you work with a design studio whose sole business is custom rings rather than buying one pre-made from a traditional jewelry store that sells all types of jewelry, it's highly likely that the experience has been designed to help you as the client have an amazing memory while also helping your fiance feel incredibly special when you explain how you went above and beyond for her. It's important to note that not all custom rings are the same. Some jewelry studios are amazing and have really developed their custom experience to be top-notch, while others say they make custom jewelry to fill a need in the market, but then they outsource it to a place that doesn't allow them to be hands-on during the creation process. Here at Vanessa Nicole Jewels, you're not working with a salesperson. You're working one-on-one with me, the artist, who will be creating your ring from scratch. I'm a master diamond setter by trade, and I absolutely love setting diamonds. My team and I are highly particular when it comes to quality, and while it does cap the number of clients that we can work with each month, it is what allows me to ensure that your ring is absolutely spectacular. I truly believe this is a key factor in what sets not only the ring apart from mass manufactured rings, but the experience for you as well. I hope this was helpful for you. If you're looking for your very own custom diamond ring, feel free to reach out to the studio. I would love to learn more about what you're looking to create, and I would absolutely love to exceed your expectations. So feel free to visit vanessanicole.com, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.